History is a brutal competition. Civilizations clash, and only the strong survive. For centuries, the Roman Empire stood atop this brutal hierarchy. Roman legions marched from the British Isles to the deserts of the Middle East, conquering and subjugating. What's astounding isn't just the scale of their victories, but the odds they often overcame. The Roman army, more often than not, faced numerically superior foes, yet they consistently emerged victorious. How did they do it? The answer lies not in sheer strength, but in a deadly combination of discipline, innovation, and strategic brilliance. This was an army that triumphed not just on the battlefield, but long before it, in the minds of their enemies and the meticulous planning of their commanders. The Roman army was more than a fighting force. It was a force of nature, meticulously organized and ruthlessly efficient. Unlike the undisciplined hordes of their enemies, Roman soldiers were trained professionals. They drilled relentlessly, mastering complex formations and maneuvers that became their hallmark on the battlefield. This rigorous training instilled in them an unshakable discipline, a crucial element in their success against larger, less organized forces. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with your comrades, a sea of shields and steel, advancing as one against a chaotic enemy. This was the Roman legion, and it was a sight that struck fear into the hearts of their enemies. The Romans understood that victory in war was not solely determined by the size of your army, but by how effectively you used it. They developed and refined a deadly array of tactical doctrines, each designed to exploit enemy weaknesses and maximize their own strengths. These tactics, combined with their unwavering discipline, transformed the Roman army into an unstoppable force. One of their key innovations was the legionary system, which divided the army into smaller, more manageable units capable of independent action. This allowed for remarkable flexibility on the battlefield, enabling Roman commanders to adapt to changing circumstances and outmaneuver their opponents. The Roman tactical repertoire was vast and varied, each formation and maneuver honed over centuries of warfare. They deployed the testudo formation, a moving fortress of shields to weather enemy missile fire. They utilized the wedge formation, a concentrated assault force, to pierce enemy lines. And they weren't afraid to engage in psychological warfare, using fear and intimidation to break the enemy's spirit before the battle even began. The Romans understood that warfare was as much a mental game as a physical one, and they excelled at both. The enemies of Rome were many and varied. From the fierce Gauls of modern-day France to the war elephants of Hannibal Barca, the Roman army faced a diverse range of opponents, often possessing numerical superiority or technological advantages. The Gauls, for example, were known for their ferocity and size, often towering over their Roman adversaries. Hannibal's Carthaginian army, with its contingent of war elephants, presented a unique and terrifying challenge on the battlefields of Italy. The Roman army, however, consistently found ways to adapt and overcome these challenges. Their disciplined formations and superior tactics allowed them to negate the advantages of larger, less organized forces. Against technologically superior foes, the Romans relied on their adaptability, often adopting and improving upon enemy innovations. The Roman army was a learning organization, constantly evolving and refining its tactics to meet the demands of the battlefield. The Roman legions were masters of battlefield tactics, employing formations like the testudo and the wedge to outmaneuver and terrify their enemies. These strategies not only protected them, but also created a psychological edge over larger forces. The terror within their ranks was palpable, making the Romans a formidable force in ancient warfare. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible tactics, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into ancient history.